What's up, guys? It's your Brony-chan here with another video. I'm super happy to be bringing you guys Madolche. I went to locals recently, and I actually went undefeated with this deck. I'm super proud of it. It is actually going first Madolches. I know how that sounds. It's a naturally going second deck, but that is why, honestly, it works better going first. And I'll show you guys in the card by card. So I don't have Lucy here today, so it's just going to be us. But I've got 3 Magileine, it's pretty standard. 3 Anjelly, oh my gosh, I know, real spicy. 3 Petingcessoeur, she's the best card in the whole deck. I'm sorry, Anjelly, you've been dethroned, but she special summons from the deck, and her best target is the Puddingcess, because she also lowers the level by 1, which has always been the problem with this card, is that it's a level 5, which I'm not sure why they did that, because it is so hard to exceed with this thing. But now it's super easy. And I'll show you guys some combos later on too on why it works best as a going first. So I also run 2 Messengelato. Honestly, I'm thinking about bumping him up to 3 because he's just such a garnet. It really sucks when you have him in your opening hand, and it'd be great to have them more in your deck. And this deck is full of 1-card combos. All of these right here, that's 9 1-card combos right there. A fourth of your deck. It is a 40-card deck. A fourth of your deck is a full combo, honestly. She is pretty much full combo, just her and one other monster. That's all you need. I'll show you guys the combos later on as well. 3 of the cat. He's great. Honestly, I was thinking about dropping him maybe down by 1 to put in a Messengelato, but he's really good if you have Messengelato in hand, because Messengelato needs to be special summoned while you have a beast. So you normal summon this, special summon the gelato, then you can kind of keep your plays going. So this is a really good card if you need an extra body on the field, and that's also what I was saying about Anjelly, if you need another body to get your starting plays. Then 3 Hootcake. I know, so spicy. The main Madolches, so spicy. But as I was saying before, this deck is full of 1-card combos, so it leaves you open to play all these hand traps. I know a lot of people question me, why 1 Ash? Ash is a great card. It really is. It is so applicable in so many matchups. The only problem is it is not as devastating as it used to be. It is really only useful in every other matchup. It's not as play ending as Ogre, Valor, when you can stop the monster's entire effects, or you can just get rid of the monster right here. Effect Valor is fantastic, probably the best hand trap in the entire deck, because it is recyclable, and I will show you guys later on why he is recyclable. So I run all those hand traps. That is 24 monsters. Then that is it for the monsters. We have some spells. I play 2 Chateau, 2 Ticket. I don't know why some people will play like 2 Chateau, 1 Ticket. I think they're crazy. You can honestly maybe even play 3, but it might get a little bit more bricky then, because then you'd have these and hand traps in your hand. But these are not dead draws. These are fantastic to draw as well. They can actually extend your plays. So 2 and 2, great for me. And honestly, because this deck is full of 1-card combos and it is so linear, that is why this deck is a combo deck, but it's super linear. It's a great deck to learn when you're starting out, because it will teach you all of the different ways that you can summon your monsters, put them together. Resource management, it's great, and there isn't too much to deviate from in your opening plays. But because it's so linear and it's so easy to stop, Call by the Grave required. It's in Dual Devastator. You have no excuse not to have Call by the Grave. Get Call by the Grave, because this deck loses to Ash. It sucks. It really does. But you normal summon Magileine, they Ash it. Oh, well, that was my turn. It really sucks. That's actually why I made this a going first Madolches, is because I had this built as a going second Madolches like everybody else. But the problem is that I kept running into is that you let your opponent go first, they start setting up their negates. And this deck can't play through those negates. It really sucks. It's just the facts. That's why this deck goes better going first, is because that is when they will have the least amount of negates. They have maybe an Ash, maybe. You have Call by the Grave. Sometimes you can actually play through a couple hand traps, but you really need to not have to play through those negates. You need to set up a board that will survive. You will not die. If you draw into any of your one card combos and you get it off, you will not die in the next turn. I can't think of many ways because you have so many indestructible monsters, and then that way you have a little bit of a starting place, and you can just pop off. So that way you're not so reliant on those one cards. You're able to kind of piggyback off of the rest. And another thing to kind of stop Ash is actually Extravagance. This card is pretty pricey. I know, guys. I'm sorry. I actually have German ones right here because they were a little bit cheaper. But I do have this one English that I pulled. So I'm happy about that. But this is actually a good Ash bait because you rarely have dead hands. You do. That's why this card is not required, but it is really fantastic to draw into more plays. And you don't search. You don't need to add more cards from your deck to your hand. So this card does not hurt you. You have to play 3 of everything in your deck, which can also hurt your pocketbook. But you're playing Madolches. You're not playing a cheap deck. So that's it for the spells. The trap lineup is actually pretty small. And honestly, I built this deck for fun. I did not think that I was going to go undefeated with this deck. So I played Madolche Nights because I like Madolche Nights. Is this card good? No, it's really not. It's not that good. You have to have no monsters in your graveyard to use it. Also, to get the only good part of the effect, which is shuffling a random card into your opponent's hand, you have to have Puddingcess. You have to control Puddingcess, which is not that often. But it's fun because it's searchable off of Messengelato. And that's why it's perfect. Because if you have Messengelato, and if you're able to summon Messengelato, and you have a Chateau or Ticket, you have something, instead of just searching another copy of Chateau and Ticket, you can search Madolche Nights, which is actually, it's not that bad. I mainly just play it because it's fun. It doesn't even remove the monster. It just negates their effect. So change these out for 2 more Judgment. I played the 1 Judgment, which was a fantastic idea. You really need it. Probably play 3 Judgment. It'll be best. It won't be searchable, but it'll be more applicable in more situations. I actually went up against Pendulum, and I set up my board, and I was surprised. I was like, okay, I'm probably going to lose against Pendulum. But I actually, what stopped him was I was able to make my board, and I had these 2 cards. I Ogre the Electromite, Judgment the Pendulum Summon. And he was just like, all right, that was my turn. And then I was also able to Infinite Impermanence him later on. So this card's great. Like I said, 1 card combos. It's a going first deck as well. So if you need to, just set it. It's fine. I love Infinite Impermanence. That's it for the main deck. It is 40 cards. I'm super happy with it. Like I said, there's nothing I would really change besides Madolche Nights and maybe finding somewhere to squeeze in another Messengelato. I'm really not sure where he would fit in, honestly. Besides maybe taking out one of the cats. But the extra deck is pretty standard because you have to play 3 of everything. So you have the Chocolat-A-La-Mode. You have to play 3 of her because you have Extravagance. If you don't have Extravagance, feel free to play 2. She's fine at 2. You're really never going to need more than 2 because this deck also shuffles back monsters a lot. Also, 3 Queen. Oh my gosh, she's so good. You summon multiple of her. You just non-target spin your opponent's board back to their deck. Not even back to their hand. It's not destroying. Non-targeting. Spinning it back to the deck. It's so good. Then also, and I like this card even more than I thought I would, the Glassouffle. She's fantastic because she is, aside from your traps and your hand traps, she is your only interaction on your opponent's turn because she is the only Madolche with a quick effect. So whenever a Madolche monster is sent to the graveyard, you can take two cards. I believe it's just 2 cards. And you shuffle back 2 cards from the graveyard into the deck. So this card is fantastic because it is one, it can go off in your opponent's turn because you can set it off with the quick effect by detaching one Madolche. And you target a, oh yeah, her first effect, target a Madolche. Excuse me. Target a Madolche. For the rest of the turn, it's unaffected by other monster effects besides its own effect. So it's another good thing. You can keep this, and you're able to stop your opponent from hand trapping you so bad. And she's a 2,500 booty. Whenever you get Chateau, she's a 3K booty. It's fantastic. It's actually harder to get over than you'd think. And why she also pairs great with Chateau is because she also pairs fantastically with Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler. I don't know if you guys know this, but so how these three cards go together so well is you have to have this on board, this with a material. Well, here we're just using Effect Veiler as a material. So you have Effect Veiler, activate it. You Veilered one of their cards. Next, you use her effect to detach one, target herself. Doesn't really matter. Then you shuffle back. Oh, actually, you'd have to have another Madolche monster. So she has another Madolche monster attached to her, whatever. Madolche monster detached, goes to the graveyard. Her effect pops off to shuffle back 2 cards in your graveyard. Now, Madolche Chateau says if monsters in your graveyard would be returned to the deck by the effect of a Madolche monster, you can add it to your hand instead. So, with her, target Effect Veiler to be shuffled back into your deck. With Chateau, it is just put immediately back into your hand. So one Effect Veiler turns into 2. That's why Effect Veiler is actually better than Impermanence in this deck. And I love it. I love it. I love the interactions of this deck. It's so much fun, guys. Seriously, it's one of the most fun decks I've ever played. Also, you play the Fresh Sistart. 3 Fresh Sistart. She's fantastic. So it's 3 of all the Madolche monsters. This card's fantastic. It can stop itself from being destroyed by shuffling Madolche monsters back into the deck, which also pops off... wait, not her effect. Glassouffle's effect. Also, while she's pointing to Madolche monsters, your Chateau and your Ticket cannot be touched. They can't even be targeted. So that's fantastic. That's why this card, what your ending board will look like a lot of times is that you have this, her with all the materials, and you'll have, I'll show you guys the combo and how you get this. Let me see if I can find it. Where's that Chateau? Chateau. You have these cards usually. And this is actually a harder board to get off because this was summoned by Anjelly, and everyone forgets that a monster summoned by Anjelly cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, but is removed from play during your next end phase. But you're getting rid of this anyway during your next end phase. That part does not matter. So you have Indestructible. This card will be able to take on multiple destructions, and then this card's a 3K booty that can make either of these unaffected by monster effects. So you have 2,000. Not really scary, but they're indestructible pretty much. 2 indestructible and a big booty. So it's actually much harder to get over than people really give it credit for. Last 3 that I play is Starving Venom and 2 Mud Dragons. I like it like this because I'm not locked into being stuck into either. I actually went against a Thunder Dragon player, and in my side deck I have Super Poly. He had he had the Cyframe monster, the Link one, and he had, I believe it was Titan. And because they were different attributes, they were light and dark, I was able to summon Swamp Dragon, and I wasn't stuck to this. So you guys can go and max out on 3 of either that you like, because you are playing Extravagance. It is a bit dangerous. If you aren't playing Extravagance, feel free to play one of each of the usual. I actually really like having Chimera in my own side deck, in my extra deck as a Super Poly target, because Solomon Great, even though it keeps getting hit on the ban list, it stays here. So sorry if I'm rambling on, guys. I don't mean to. That's it for the extra deck. I just want to make sure I portray to you guys how awesome this deck is, how it can get around certain things, because this is a bit of a more unique build because it is going first. So because this deck is a going first, it can still go second, but not that strong. So I built the side deck to be a natural going second build. That is literally what this is. You side in almost all the cards, game 2. So you win the dice roll, you lose the dice roll, whatever. If you lose the dice roll, just play normal Madolches. So it won't be as powerful, but game 2, when you guys win, you guys will side in the Nibiru, 2 Gamerciel, a Jizukiru, a Flame Kaiju, and also a Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers. These are great going second cards. You're able to clear off your opponent's board because, like I said, this deck is fragile. You need these to get some quick removal. Something that's going to stop you, just quickly just get over that. And they spin back to the deck a lot of times with the Madolche cards. So it's with the Queen, with the Glassouffle. Once you get rid of it, you can just, instead of shuffling it back, it works again with the Kaiju. If it ends up in the graveyard, target target cards. If a monster would get shuffled back, just put it back in your hand. That's it for the monsters. Oh, and the spells. So that's it for those. I also play Twin Twisters. This is not applicable in every game 2, but honestly, this deck gets annoyed by certain floodgates. Floodgates really hurt this deck, so you want to get rid of them. Cosmic Cyclone's a great card, but Twin Twisters right now, you just kind of need it because you need to get rid of everything. And then I also play 1 Super Poly. I wish I had room for a couple more Super Polys, but this is a great going. Honestly, it could go first, go second. It's great, just quick removal. And then a little spicy tech that, shout out Kelly DTG, Kelly Death the Girl, gave me this idea. United We Stand. If you guys don't know what this card does, it is for every face-up monster you control, increase the attack and defense of the equipped monster by 800. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, it's just generic spell card, make some big beefy monsters. Yes, it makes super beefy monsters. 800 attack for every monster. I have not seen many decks that are able to flood the board like Madolche can. It's so easy to equip, and people aren't scared of equip. People are not scared of equip spell cards. They'll usually let it go through. You equip it, and then they realize that you have 6 monsters on the board, and you get some beefy monsters. So it's great. I love it. It's, like I said, it's another going second. All these cards, maybe not the Twin Twisters, but all this, you're just gonna shove into your deck game 2. It's great. So that's it for the deck. I'll show you guys a quick little tutorial on how to do the Madolche going first combo. Here, I gotta readjust the camera stand that we just got, so that way we can bring you guys some more videos. So, usually you can start off this play with this is the best opener. You just, oh, I got full combo. That's what I joked with my friends so many times. I draw, oh, I got full combo. So normal summoner, search out the her Puddingcessoeur. And while you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon her. So you special summon her. To special summon, when she's special summoned, and the cool thing is, those are 2 different effects. She can special summon herself, and then also, when she is special summoned, or if she is special summoned, she also gets another monster. So, she can go off on your opponent's turn a lot as well, which also helps you survive till the next turn. Summon your Puddingcess. Next, exceed those 2 to create the Glassouffle. Glassouffle's effect, this is very specific on what you need to detach. Detach the Puddingcessoeur. That's fine, target herself, whatever, doesn't really matter, because you need a monster in grave. Next, you put on the Chocolat-A-La-Mode. Chocolat-A-Mode's effect, to shuffle back this into the deck, 1 monster into the main monster deck, or into the main deck. To put that in grave. Now you can summon a monster, because this has Puddingcess underneath it. You can summon a Madolche monster from the deck. And the one you will want to go into is Anjelly. Anjelly, oh, sorry guys, didn't mean to hit the camera stand. Anjelly's effect, to tribute, to summon Hootcake, an indestructible Hootcake. Hootcake effect to banish the Glassouffle. Because you banished, get the Messengelato. Messengelato effect to add Chateau. Chateau, activate Chateau, shuffles this back into the deck. Her trigger is not once per turn, which is amazing. So you monster shuffle back into the deck, shuffle that. You get another Messengelato. Messenger's effect to add the Ticket. So that way, now, because you don't need these anymore, link them away into the Sistart. Or not Sistart effect. But now you can, or honestly, what a probably better idea is instead of linking this one away, link the Messengelato away. So that way you have one engraved, so it's easy to shuffle it back. Exceed those two into the Glassouffle. Now, if you guys have another Chateau, you can actually make another Chocolat-A-Mode if you want to. Shuffle all the monsters back again, and you can keep going. So I don't usually want to do that, but that is you can extend even further if you draw into another Chateau, because you're also able to use Ticket to special summon from the deck. Like I said earlier, this board is not scary, but it survives, and then your next turn you can kill them. I love this deck. It's fantastic. I hope you guys are able to have fun with this deck too. I will actually, this time, I will write out an entire deck list and I will post it in the description. So, thank you guys. Peace.